Hey y'all, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode of the Worlds of Country podcast. I'm your host Andrew. On today's episode, I'm joined by Tyler Dial to talk all about his musical journey and his upcoming album Electric West and so much more. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I know I really did. Talk to you guys on the other side. Of course. There we go. I didn't forget to hit record, so now we're good. Hey
Oh my
Tyler,
God, I
how are
couldn't
you?
imagine. What's up, Andrew? Thanks for having me, man. I'm great.
Of course. What have you been up to lately?
I spent all morning working on a lyric video. I've been editing and directing my content, so I'm pretty excited. We've got a new song called Bougainvilleas coming out next week that I'm really excited about. And yeah, it was we spent this weekend in Arizona with a Super 8 camera, a film camera, and last minute we were needing a lyric video. I was like, wait, I think we have footage from this weekend. And I was like playing a music festival down in Arizona, and we went hiking and swimming and just kind of put together this little thing. So I'm pretty excited about it.
So have you always been into like that more creative side of things, or is that something you developed over time?
Well, I always had I always loved making like home videos in middle school with my friends, and when I went to college, kind of did my own little vlog thing of us playing shows. And I'm just kind of getting back into the to it. I love exploring the visual side of things. I have a lot of inspiration there, and so I think that's what I enjoy doing other than, making the music itself. So
Kind of puts everything all together, I guess, at the end of it.
yeah, it's I mean, I think like there's two sides of it, is the sonic part and the visual part. And I have a lot of fun with my film camera. I post a lot of film pictures on Instagram, and I think it kind of helps differentiate me a little bit. But when I came up with this idea for my album Electric West, uh, it immediately had a visual side to it that I could kind of see. I could hear it and I could see it, and it felt tangible to me. And so I was really excited when I came up with that idea, and we ended up writing that song, and that kind of became the North Star as we were putting together this album.
So when did you know that music was going to be the thing for you?
Well, I grew up in a music family. My dad always had guitars lying around the house, and he was always playing John Denver songs and Eagles songs. And I always was always picking up little chords here and there. And he was actually a tour promoter. So I spent a lot of time going to concerts when I was younger, and basically started playing guitar in like the fourth grade. And I wanted to impress a girl in middle school. So I played the
That's how it
talent
always starts.
show. Yeah, I'm still trying to impress girls, I guess, but no, I just fell in love with it. And it was funny, I was between the John Mayer version of Free Fallin' and Jason Mraz, and I went the John Mayer route. And he's been a huge inspiration for me ever since. And always grew up listening to country music, and so I kind of always had that Nashville in my sights ever since I was in high school. And I've been here the last 5 years, but I still love the John Mayer side of songwriting and making music. So I guess I'm trying to mix both of those inspirations.
What's the process been like of sort of figuring out who you are as an artist and what you want to say?
Well, it's been hard, like I'm growing up in Arizona. I was kind of one of the only kids that listened to country music. And when I moved to Nashville, I was wearing Vans, and you know, um, not quite the country kid. So I always felt like I didn't fit in a little bit. And when I first got here, I was like, I majored in marketing in college, and one of the things I learned is you got to find space and fill it where people aren't doing stuff. So I guess they call it white space in marketing. And um, all my favorite artists were different when they came out. Like Sam Hunt, or even like the Beatles. Um, and so I always wanted to do something a little different than what everyone else was doing. But I kind of wanted to be different just for the sake of being different. And over time, I learned that I really just had to be myself, because there is no other me. And so the last couple years, I've really leaned into that, and has just had a lot of fun making music, and just being okay with the fact that I sing country music and wear Vans or whatever. So
It's funny that you say that you always wanted to be different because a lot of people they move to Nashville and they feel like they have to. they have to be the same. So it's funny how it sort of worked the opposite way for you.
It might not work in my favor, if I was trying to, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's I'm trying to serve my soul, I guess, and I think that's okay. People love country music, and like the I don't think you can write too many songs about dirt roads or drinking beer or whatever, but um for me, it's not necessarily what I listen to or what I gravitate towards. And, I think that's what it's about, is just doing whatever you want. And I think a lot of people are just being themselves in that sense too.
It's much easier to sell yourself authentically than trying to sell something you're not at the end of the day.
hmm I agree. I agree.
So what would you say have been some of the bigger lessons you've learned since you've moved out to Nashville and started chasing down this dream?
Oh man, there's so many. Having to work side jobs and support myself, and I guess I just have developed a resilience that, like, I'm not gonna quit, and I can keep going. I think a one thing that I'm learning this year that was really hard for me last year is I put out 5 or 6 songs last year, 6 or 7 songs last year, and I cared so much about the success about them, and going, whether or not they went viral or popped off, or I would look around and look at my peers doing well. And so I think a big lesson this year has been, like, not comparing myself to other people's success and being happy for other people's success. And um lately I've been thinking about, I was doing this meditation, and the narrator said something about how the stiff trees break, but flexible ones that bend with the wind are actually the strongest. And so I'm just trying to bend with the wind these days and stay flexible and stay loose, and just have fun. It's hard though. It's everyone in this town is so good, and it's so competitive, and I'm a very competitive person. So if I'm just trying to figure out how to be competitive with myself, I guess.
So when did that mindset shift sort of kick in for you?
Oh man, I'm constantly struggling with it, but I think it was over the winter break when I had time to go home and reflect on the year and think about where my career was at. And yeah, I'm constantly, looking at my career and what's going on, and I've come so much. Every year I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how far I've come. And so I think that's just the mindset to have, is just compete with myself.
So you mentioned before about wanting your songs to go viral and all that jazz. Um, so was the social media trend, and specifically TikTok, was that something that was easy for you to jump on, or were you reluctant to hop on the train?
I'm still reluctant to hop on the train, to be honest with you, Andrew. Some people are so good at it. They're so good at just waking up and, turning the phone around and videotaping themselves, whether it's dancing to their song or lip singing to their song. And I think part of it goes back to me wanting to be different and be like, if everyone's doing this, like, I kind of want to not, and it's probably to my detriment, because I'm sure my label and my team are all like, begging me to do more of that. But, I have so much more fun editing a full lyric video than I do trying to come up with with 5 seconds of something that'll catch people's attention. And so I don't know, maybe there's a world where that long form is really will work, but I still am pretty hard on myself with trying to get short form content, and be accessible, because I feel like a lot of artists that I grew up loving were kind of mysterious, and whether that be like Eric Church, or I don't know, like even people like these days that have an aesthetic, like a Tyler the Creator or someone like that. I'm really inspired by it, and a lot of indie music. So I don't know. The TikTok thing's hard for all of us. Everyone complains about it. So I think it's just another tool that we need to figure out, that I need to figure out how to leverage.
Yeah, but I guess the important part would be figuring out how it works for you at the end of the day, as opposed to trying to
Yeah,
copy someone else.
I actually like I said, like my mindset has been this year to stay loose and have fun, and like not worry too much about the outcome of posts and stuff. And uh, with TikTok, I feel like you can kind of have a little bit more of a machine gun, shoot from the hip approach and just throw stuff at the wall. Whereas maybe Instagram, I'm trying to have a little bit more of an aesthetic or maybe of like a sniper approach, if that makes sense. And so
It's more
um,
calculated for sure.
it is, and it's a different platform. People use it differently. And so, you know, and you never know with TikTok. The other day, Andrew, like literally, I'm Saturday morning, I wake up to a bunch of texts from my friends, and they're all like, "Have you seen this TikTok? They're listening to your song Damn Denver." And I pull it up, and it gets 1.4 million views, and it's these Amish kids listening to my song, smoking cigarettes and drinking twisted teas. And I'm like, no way. And it's got like 3,000 comments, and it's people commenting like, "What song is this?" And so it's just that I feel like it's part of it's that luck thing, and just being in the game. And it ended up getting taken down because you can't smoke cigarettes on TikTok apparently, which was a huge bummer because I missed a lot of comments and they didn't tag me or anything, but I think my listen spiked like 1,000%, but it was so funny, dude.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
there's definitely like a randomness to TikTok, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's that kind of just proved to me that I don't need to stress about it. Like if a song's gonna resonate with people, like it'll resonate. And my job is, I think my job is to wake up every morning and think, how can I make the best song or the best music or have the best piece of art, whether that's a video or whatever, And I even think, TikToks, you can be artistic with it. There's some people who are so good at it, Josie Dunn, I'm a big fan of in Nashville. She kills it. So, there's a way to do it, but I'm just trying to stay sane with everything.
We were talking about lessons a little bit before. What would you say have been some of the bigger challenges on the flip side of that?
Oh man. I think a huge challenge is, like I said, just trying not to care so much. And I think a big challenge too is with how busy I am is like trying to improve as a musician and learning a John Mayer song on guitar, not to post it or not to whatever, but just to be better at my craft, and to manage my time. And I spent a lot of time working on social media videos and coming up with ideas for songs. And I guess it's just trying to figure out what is going to make me the best artist and how can I manage that time.
So how would you describe your music for people out there who maybe haven't heard you before?
hmm Well, I just love vibey music. I try not to be, I have some clever songs, but I just want to make music feel good. Like a sunset or whatever. Growing up in Arizona, I feel like I have a bit of a different background than a lot of the country singers here in Nashville. And I think you can hear a little bit of maybe West Coast in my music. I grew up loving Jack Johnson and John Mayer, like I said, and all different types of indie rock these days. And spent 4 years in Austin where I didn't even know Texas country existed till I went out there. And so I have this amalgamation of influences that I think, shines through my music.
So if you had to pick out one or two of your songs that best describe who you are as an artist, what would they be?
I would say probably my most successful song last year, Way Back When, is a song that I feel like represents me well. It has an energy to it, and I think performing live is what I'm best at. I spent every weekend in Austin playing tailgates and 4-hour cover sets on Sixth Street, and like I said, I grew up around a dad that it was a tour promoter, so I love the live show, and that's why I love that song so much. And then on the flip side, um, I put out this song last year called "What a High," and it had a little bit of Texas, a little bit of Eagles to it, kind of vibey, chill song. And I put that out, and my brother texted me, "This is the most Tyler song I've heard from you." So, and it's a song that's not overthinking it. It's just a pretty simple love song, and I think those two probably represent me and my sound.
So So when you're writing a song that you feel is special, is that something that sort of hits you right away, or do you have to usually let them marinate for a while before you realize what you were onto?
I've been thinking about this a lot. I have so many songs that were like so close to making the record or making the next record, but I think the best barometer of a song is, and I get excited about a lot of songs that I'll when I'll write them, and the ones that I'm constantly repeating will definitely, you know, stand a chance of making the record. But I think the best barometer is when you play it for somebody else. Like, I could be excited about a song, but if I'm playing it for my roommate or my girlfriend and where they're listening to it, by the first 10 seconds, I'll know. I'll go, oh, I actually don't know if I want you to hear this, or oh, I'm so excited about this. I want you to hear it. So as they're listening, it's not their reaction to it, it's the way I feel when
Going
as
into
they're
them.
hearing it. It's so weird. But I think that's the best test.
Yeah, that little anxiety sort of brings out the truth.
Yeah, it's like you don't know it until you play it for someone and it's not even their reaction. It's just how you feel when they're hearing it. It's a weird thing.
So you have your album Electric West coming out in a couple months. Where
Yep.
did the inspiration for that project come from?
I have been in Nashville for the last 5 years, trying to figure out what I had to say, what type of artist I wanted to be. And for the first 3 years, I had no idea. I was writing with everyone, trying to take meetings and make it happen. And I was working on a pontoon boat on the weekends in the summertime and bartending in the wintertime, and was just having the hardest time figuring out who I was. And then I had this friend that was like, you should throw these parties and because I knew I wanted to do something Arizona themed, and lean into where I'm from and where I've been in Austin and Arizona. And she's like, what if you threw like Western parties, like disco, country, kind of like Electric West? And I go, whoa, 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 Electric West, that's awesome. And I didn't even think to make an album called that, but I pitched that song title to two guys that I was writing with one day, Orrin Thornton and Lee Starr, and they loved that idea. And it was kind of an abstract kind of thing. And we wrote this awesome song, and I was like, this is so good. It sounds like an Eagles, Tame Impala kind of song and indie kind of deal. Like, what if we made that the album? And all of a sudden, I had all these ideas, it would look like and sound like. And so, yeah, we wrote that song. And that's kind of what got that vision, is kind of actually what helped me build my team and get me to where I'm at today. I had a meeting with my current manager, Alicia, and told her I was like this Electric West project. And I brought like a one sheet that I had designed with like a lightning bolt and a cactus and like this whole, neon vibe. And she's like, I love it. I want to play it for Cappy, who's my other manager now. And he loved it. All of a sudden the publishing company signed me and Virgin Music stepped in, and I had this team that was all behind this Electric West project. And so I don't know. I was a marketing major in college, and so I think I was constantly looking for that brand that I could make, or what do I have to say, and that was it. And it just took that for everything to happen.
Then all of a sudden, everything sort of came together all at once.
It came
Yeah.
together. It was crazy. And I'm still honing in, to be honest with you, on what Electric West is, and still trying to figure out the best how to make it more cohesive and a stronger, tighter thing. Uh, and every time I post or every time I'm writing a song, I think, is this Electric West? Is this in that world I'm trying to build? And I think that's where a lot of the my struggle with the short form and TikTok comes into play, because I go, oh, this is so kind of cheap. It doesn't feel like it has that aesthetic, and so that's constantly, I feel like, what I'm up against.
Yeah, it almost feels like you're trying to fit it into this tiny little box when there's all this that's left to say after that.
Right. I think like
Yeah.
what I loved about Electric West is it kind of like I could feel like I could build this world uh with it. Not like a mine kind of like a Minecraft world where it's like I can see the music videos and the locations and just kind of like a fantasy world. But what people I think what people want is accessibility and reality. And so I'm kind of up against this, like, do I go full fantasy or do I go keep it real and be myself? And I do think doing podcasts and doing things like this is where people can get to know me on a real basis, you know?
The music we could leave in fantasy land.
Yeah, right. We'll see. I'm working on the next album right now, and I kind of want it to be like Electric West Volume 2. You know, I kind of want to just keep expanding this world and make the next one kind of, instead of deserty, kind of more beach Electric West, or, whatever. So we'll see. Um, I'm really excited and thrilled about the music I'm making now. I feel like, the music that I've been putting out this year is all like 3 or 4 years old. So it's hard.
It's been sitting for a while.
Yeah, I've had to be
Yeah.
patient.
Yeah. So that's kind of the cool thing with music, though, is that you could sort of create these separate universes where projects just sort of exist on their own.
Hmm. Yeah, and I definitely have had to remind myself that this record is a chapter in my life, and uh there's a beginning and an end, and that end is probably a year or two ago, and the next record that I'll be putting out, a couple of years, will be another chapter that will be in my past. So I think John Mayer said that you got to remember like how excited you were when you first got that demo back or got it back. Like that's how excited you should continue to be, you know.
Yeah, because that excitement could definitely wear off quick if you let it.
It definitely does. It's a struggle, but I'll find that there are some that definitely don't wear off that I'm still super excited about, like a Way Back When or a Damn Denver or a What a High. So
Yes, that's sort of what separates those at the end of the day.
yeah, I guess the best ones are the ones that resonate are the ones that stick around, maybe.
So I want to do a little rapid fire with you before I let you go, if that's cool with
For
you.
sure. Yeah.
Let's do this thing. If you could only eat one thing the rest of your life, what would it be?
You say eat?
Eat, yeah.
Tacos. Love
I had
them.
a
I
feeling
went
that would
to
be the answer. I don't know why.
really It's a very Electric West answer, Andrew. I went to Austin last week and I think I had breakfast tacos for breakfast and lunch every day. It was awesome.
Would you rather have 20 fingers or 20 toes?
Fingers play great piano.
Some people said for the guitar, but I think it'd be better for the piano, actually.
I
You
didn't even
could have
think
more
of
control
guitar,
over
but
it.
yeah, I play
There'd be
like
too much going on.
play one of those like double neck like 12 string and 6 string all at the same time. That'd be cool. I don't
Make a
know.
lot
That's
of
a
money
weird
off
question.
that.
And I don't know if a 20 finger person's very marketable. I don't know. Relatable maybe is the better word.
Be more like a circus act.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, would you pancakes or waffles? I know we did food, but we're back to
Pa-
food.
uh, Pancakes with peanut butter and syrup. I always grew up putting peanut butter on my pancakes.
That's an underrated move there for sure.
So good.
Yeah. If you could only listen to three artists the rest of your life, who would they be?
John Mayer, just because I know I've said him a bunch of times, but his catalog is so deep and every record is so good. That's the first one. Rolling Stones, number two. I've always said that when Keith Richards or Mick Jagger dies, I'm getting a Rolling Stones tongue tattooed on my butt for fun. And number three, I would have to go with the Eagles.
You can't get bored of that catalog there. Those three. There's like endless
No, and
music going on.
I guess those are like my Venn diagram of who I am. But maybe not. I don't know. I would throw a George Strait in there, maybe. Uh, but I don't know.
If you could delete any word from the English language, what would it be?
Wow, that's a good question. Um, geez. Uh, oh man. Um, wow, that's hard. Give me 1 second. Uh, I don't know, like YOLO or something. Like, gosh,
One of those
that's a
fake words
hard
is perfect.
fake word. Yeah,
Yeah.
get the fake words out of here. All of the fake words need to be deleted. That's good.
And just one more for you. Biggest impulse buy you ever made?
Oh wow. I mean, I can tell you one last week. I am so bad with money, dude. I'm on this like, I'm a broke songwriter and I'll just buy shit that I should not be buying. But last week I bought a gold Casio watch, like a $50 like cheap Casio, but it's so cool. It's I'm probably gonna be happy with that impulse buy, honestly. I think it'll be a good for the aesthetic.
As long as you get use out of it, you could justify it.
Yeah, I always say my rule of thumb with buying things to wear is like if you wear it, that's $1. So if I buy $1,000 boots, which I don't do, I'd have to wear them 1,000 times to justify the purchase. And I think that's pretty good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll wear that Casio watch 50 times, so maybe it was a bad buy.
You gotta tally them up and report back.
Oh yeah. That would be crazy.
Well, thank you so much again for taking the time for this.
Andrew, dude, you guys have been so supportive. Thanks for always posting my stuff. Uh,
Or
Thank you for having me. Great to meet you. Hope to meet you in person sometime soon.
have a great one.
Yeah, dude.
Bye.
Peace, brother.
Hey y'all, thank you guys so much again for tuning in. If you liked what you heard from the podcast, be sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. Go check us out on social media at Worlds of Country on all social media platforms. If you liked what you heard from Tyler, be sure to go check him out on social media and go check out his music wherever you listen to music. Hope you guys liked what you heard. Talk to you guys next time.